Hi there guys, it's Eastwood for Life Fan here, back with another update. Like in the previous video, that was an update of all the DVDs and Blu-rays that I picked up in the first 4 months of the year. This video is going to be all the 4K releases and editions that I picked up in the first 4 months of the year. Quite a few collector's editions from the UK, some European imports, as well as some collector's editions from Australia, as well as some releases from the US. Quite a bit to show. I'm not going to go into too much detail in showing all the contents of each edition, because some of these have been out for a good few months. So guys, hope you enjoyed the update. Let's get through the update and show you what I picked up. The first stack are all Arrow Video UK releases, and it's been quite a first couple of months of the year as we going into nearly July now. So yeah, a great half of the year of releases from Arrow Video. So let's get to this update. Of course, I was going to be picking this one up, Michael Grisham's early 1970s sci-fi adventure Western movie, Westworld, starring Yul Brynner, about this kind of adult theme park, and this robot has a malfunction, played by Yul Brynner. They did do a sequel, Future World, and obviously the TV series, which was kind of short-lived. There's the classic artwork, great performance by Yul Brynner. This collector's edition comes with the booklet and all other goodies plus extras. This one obviously has been out for quite a while. Did have the Blu-ray edition, but we did upgrade this onto 4K. Wes Craven's late 1970s The Hills Have Eyes, starring Michael Berryman and Dee Wallace, about a family on a road trip, which they actually break down. I don't want to give too much away, as it's such a classic, but I'm pretty sure you guys would have seen this one. There is the original artwork, Michael Berryman in probably his most iconic role, and there was a decent, very good remake of The Hills of Eyes, which a lot of people actually prefer that over this one. But this one, for me, I know it's kind of more of a cult classic, but I still prefer this one over the very good remake. And one of the releases of the year from Arrow Video, Salem's Lot, directed by Toby Hooper and written by Stephen King, starring David Soul and James Mason. Also Jeffrey Lewis is in this movie. David Soul plays this novelist who returns to his local town to write a novel, and him and this young horror fan kind of they want to stop the spread of vampires from being taken over. And yeah, obviously this was a mini-series that did have a movie release as well. It does come with the booklet. And guys, we did do a horror movie memories episode on Davey Dark's Forgotten Horror channel. I'll share the link in the description box down below. We've done that with special guest Jim's movie channel. Great episode of a classic mini-series dash movie. And I've got to say, the transfer was far better than I anticipated. One of my favourite vampire movies, Salem's Lot, and if it's not sold out now, guys, do not sleep on this release, because this release will sell out. And the next one's a very, very good remake. I purchased the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake. This one stars Jessica Biel, and Yeah, I remember back in the day when this came out, was it early 2000 or so? And it was one I actually wanted to avoid, but because a lot of people were saying how good it was, gave it a go, and I was really, really impressed. Yeah, very good remake of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I still prefer the Tobe Hooper classic, obviously. The next two movies are two Hong Kong action movies where Arrow Video have been releasing quite a few of those types of movies on their label. This one, the John Woo movie, The Killer, from the late 1980s, about a Hong Kong assassin who takes one last job, starring Chow Yun-fat. This had been released on, was it the Shout Select label? Yeah, The Killer. Great action scenes in this movie, and again another release which will sell out in time. And another John Woo movie. This one was definitely a pre-order once it went up. Hard Boiled, from the early 1990s, again starring Chow Yun-fat, a cop and a undercover agent. They want to bring down a gangster and his whole operation, and this release has been long awaited. Great action scenes, even though the hospital scenes, action scenes towards the end of the movie is a little bit far-fetched, but yeah, I mean the action in this is amazing. Definitely John Woo does make some of the greatest action movies on screen. So yeah, Hard Boiled getting the 4K release. The next movie is probably Steven Seagal's most well-known movie, Under Siege, and it's kind of his biggest box office hit, where he plays a cook who works on this kind of like a navy ship, and then he goes up against a gang of terrorists. Also starring Gary Busey and Tommy Lee Jones. Yeah, quite surprised that Arrow Video would release this on their label and on 4K, and hoping that Under Siege 2 gets a release as well. A Kurt Russell movie, not one of his greatest ones, Soldier, kind of like a sci-fi action movie from the 90s. Yeah, it's a silly one, but it's not classic Kurt Russell, but yeah, it's been a while since I've seen this one, Soldier. The next movie from 1980, a highly controversial William Friedkin movie starring Al Pacino. This is Cruising, where he plays a New York City cop who goes undercover, and he's after a serial killer who's killing off gay men, and Al Pacino goes into deep undercover. It's been a while since I've seen this. I've only seen this movie once, and the ending kind of leaves you to kind of draw your own conclusion of the movie. Nice release from Arrow Video, and just a shame that again Arrow Video are cutting corners on the back of their slip boxes, which is a shame really, because they can quite easily put something on the back. That's Cruising. The last two Arrow releases. This one, Peter Hyams movie, quite underrated, from the early 1980s. Early 1980s, I should say, starring Sean Connery, who plays as kind of like a marshal who's investigating a series of mysterious deaths on this kind of mining station in Jupiter. Again, another release I did not expect from Arrow Video, Outland. And the last Arrow release, Joe Dante sci-fi adventure comedy, Inner Space, starring Dennis Quaid, Meg Ryan and Martin Short. Now this movie is a lot of fun. It's not one of Joe Dante's best, but yeah, it's an entertaining one. There's the original artwork from the VHS days as I remember. Inner Space, directed by Joe Dante, the director of Gremlins. So that's all the Arrow Video releases. The next two releases are from a label that I don't normally get a lot of releases from. That's the Criterion Collection. But this one I had to get. Obviously, William Friedkin's a fine director, but obviously mainly more for Roy Scheider. This is Sorcerer from the late 1970s. And this is a jungle adventure movie. Yeah, Sorcerer. And the other Criterion Collection release, this one's been out for a while. One of my favourite Brian De Palma movies, Blowout, starring John Travolta, Nancy Allen, and also John Lithgow. John Travolta plays this kind of movie sound recordist, and while one evening recording some sounds, he witnesses a car accident, which he figures out that it actually wasn't an accident, it was actually a murder. And yeah, very, very good movie, this one. Like I say, it's one of my Brian De Palma favourites, Blowout. And this is a upgrade for us. Did have the Arrow Video release of this one. The next two releases are from Studio Canal. This one, a Hammer movie, this one. Well, I won't get all of the Hammer movies, but mainly the Peter Cushing ones and the Christopher Lee ones I'm more interested in. This is Scars of Dracula, which I think this is the 5th outing of Dracula for Christopher Lee on this one. Correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Alan Meggs. And this one also stars Dennis Waterman, British actor who was more known for being in The Sweeney and Minder. So yeah, Scars of Dracula, getting this 4K collector's edition. And this Studio Canal 4K release has been out a while. The Outsiders, it was released in a collector's edition. This is a early 1980s coming of age movie directed by Francis Ford Coppola, set in the 1950s or 1960s. This one, about two rival gangs, and with the fantastic cast of Thomas Howell, Matt Dillon, Patrick Swayze, Tom Cruise and Emilio Estevez. It's been years since I've seen this one, The Outsiders. Next two movies are Warner Brothers movies, which I also had custom made slip covers done. Goldfinger, my favourite James Bond movie starring Sean Connery, and this beautiful slip cover was done by Custom Creations. He's around on Instagram. Definitely will be picking up more slip covers as he does such a fine job. Goldfinger and Odd Job. And also picked up Thunderball, again another slip cover designed by Custom Creations. James Bond goes on a mission to recover 2 nuclear warheads. He ends up in the Bahamas, which they did make a remake, Never Say Never Again, with Sean Connery. And his card, Custom Creations. And he also did do this slipcover of this classic western, The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance. Beautiful slipcovers. The movie I had a while, but it definitely deserved a slipcover. And the final 3 UK releases are from Indicator, 88 Films and Universal. Now this movie had been released on Blu-ray by 88 Films. Hitchhike, a late 1970s movie starring Franco Nero. Him and his partner, they are a argumentative couple, and while doing a road trip they pick up a psychotic hitchhiker, and this is limited to 4,000 copies on 4K from Indicator. Yeah, fine release from Indicator. Like I say, it'd been released by 88 Films previously on the Italian collection. Another Franco Nero movie upgraded to the collection. The next movie is my favourite all-time Van Damme movie. Fond memories of watching this one on the big screen from the early 1990s. Double Impact, where Jean-Claude Van Damme plays two roles actually. He plays the twin brothers who get separated at a young age, and 25 years later they meet up again, they reunite, and they both want to avenge the death of their parents. And yeah, excellent action movie this one. Also Jeffrey Lewis is in this one. This is the original artwork as I remembered. Double Impact. This does come with the booklet as well. And the last UK release is this Ron Howard movie, Backdraft, with a stellar cast of Kurt Russell and Robert De Niro, and also William Baldwin, and I think Rebecca De Mornay and Donald Sutherland are in this one. And there's a series of arson attacks that take place over the city, which they investigate. Yeah, quite underrated this one. Backdraft. So yeah, all the UK releases on 4K that I've picked up. On to the European imports. Actually, this one was given to us by Mike, that other Retro Guys movie zone. This classic 1970s movie, Rollerball, starring James Caan. This one a futuristic sci-fi movie about a corporate dictator who wants to retire a star player of this 21st century brutal sport. So huge thanks Mike. I'll share Mike's channel link in the description box down below. Please give him a sub because he's a top-notch guy. The next release is actually an Italian release which I've yet to open, from 4 Cult Prestige. This is the 4K collector's edition of Sergio Leone's classic gangster movie Once Upon a Time in America, starring Robert De Niro and James Woods. This does come in DVDs, Blu-rays and 4Ks. I think it's 2 discs each, limited to 3,000 copies. This one, obviously the classic, that's set in the New York, in the Jewish neighborhoods, and it's childhood buddies who grow up to be big time gangsters. So yeah, this release definitely deserves looking into, because a few people have not been too impressed with the 4K edition, so I do think it's worth a video on this one, of this Italian release of Once Upon a Time in America from 4 Cult. So the next 2 releases are from Imprint Australia. Fantastic label. I just wish I could purchase more from them. And the first one was actually shown in a trade package, the 4K collector's edition of Invasion of the Body Snatchers from the late 1970s. The remake, starring Donald Sutherland, Leonard Nimoy, Brooke Adams and also Jeff Goldblum. So guys, if you want to check out this edition, check out the video of a trade package from Jace, which I think was our 3rd one. Yeah, beautiful lenticular slip cover, slip box I should say. I mean, I do enjoy the remake, the original from Don Siegel from the 50s, but this one, that ending with Donald Sutherland is iconic. Yeah, mysterious pod plants kind of grow in the city. I say, yeah, mysterious pods, they grow in the city, kind of replacing the population of people taking over bodies one at a time. Yeah, classic sci-fi horror, Invasion of the Body Snatchers. And the next Imprint release, again, it came from Jace, is Martin Scorsese's classic from 1980, starring Robert De Niro, who plays Jake LaMotta, former middleweight champion of the world. And this one definitely deserves a video on its own, because it comes in a 3-disc set with a 70-page book. Great movie, starring Robert De Niro, Joe Pesci and Kathy Moriarty. And the last stack are all releases from the US. This first one actually came in early January for pre-order, and I got this one, I think it was late January, and it's the Vinegar Syndrome together with Film Movement put out this release of Sergio Corbucci's The Great Silence, his cult classic of the spaghetti western genre from the late 1960s, this one, and it got sold out really quick. Klaus Kinski plays the villain in this one. Definitely one of the grimmest spaghetti westerns you'll ever see. Definitely influenced Quentin Tarantino in The Hateful Eight, The Great Silence, one of the finest spaghetti western movies made, in my top 10. Just quickly show you the booklet. Klaus Kinski there, and Jean-Louis Trinant, the French actor who plays the mute gunfighter Silence. excellent release. Just a shame that they did not make more copies of this collector's edition, because it definitely deserves to be seen out there. This kind of, it's a spaghetti western that kind of goes under the radar a little, because there's always more. The Sergio Leone movies get watched a whole lot more than the Sergio Corbucci ones. Again, Sergio Corbucci directed the classic cult movie Django. And from Kino Lorber, picked up one of my favourite Charles Bronson movies, another one that he made with Michael Winner, The Mechanic, where he plays this assassin who takes on a young protege played by Jan Michael Vincent, who more known for being in the TV series Airwolf. But yeah, this is a great one, The Mechanic. Forget the Jason Statham one. This is the real deal. This movie, a video nasty classic, one that I haven't seen since the VHS days. I've been after a uncut version, and I picked up the original I Spit on Your Grave, this kind of video nasties revenge movie. Yeah, it's a tough watch where four men, they kind of attack a young woman. They leave her sort of left for dead, and then she tries to hunt them down. And I'm hearing this is the uncut version on 4K. I badly need a rewatch of this video nasties classic from the late 1970s. Another Brian De Palma movie. This is a Sony release. Yeah, a Brian De Palma movie which people either like or dislike. This one from 1984, kind of like a erotic psychological Alfred Hitchcock type thriller starring Melanie Griffith. And yeah, I actually always had a soft spot for this one, Body Double. Another steelbook. This is a Scream Factory release of a kind of underrated John Carpenter movie, Vampires, starring James Woods. Him and his team, they try to track down this kind of Catholic church relic which has been taken by a gang of vampires, as James Woods and his team try to track him down. But yeah, this one I always have a lot of fun. This is kind of like a Western vampire movie. It's kind of the closest thing to a Western movie that John Carpenter did. Yeah, really liking the artwork. Vampires. And the last two movies, and they do contain star Robert De Niro. A Bronx Tale. Robert De Niro's first movie that he directed, where this one's set in the 1960s, where Robert De Niro tries to steer his young son away from the neighborhood gangster played by Chaz Palminteri. It's a great movie, this one, and there's going to be a Australian imprint collector's release, which I probably will be picking that one up, because this is a great gangster movie. A Bronx Tale. I had the pleasure of watching this when this one came out in the cinema in the early 1990s. And the last movie from 2023, Martin Scorsese's Killers of the Flower Moon, a period drama starring Leonardo DiCaprio and Robert De Niro. which I think he got. De Niro was an Academy Award nomination, but obviously he didn't win. And this does come with a booklet and 3 discs. Yeah, the US Criterion Collection. So there is the last release, the last 4K release I picked up in the first 4 months of 2026, Killers of the Flower Moon. Guys, let me know what you thought of all those 4K releases, and yeah, let me know your thoughts. And again, guys, hope all is well out there in YouTube land. Keep on collecting and watching great movies. Till the next video, take care and expect more content from Eastwood for Life Fan.
Go ahead, make my day.